You have just tapped into the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. I'm here to equip and encourage coaches in skills, business, personal life, and faith. I believe you're already 100% worthy and capable, and you're called for such a time as this. So let's get you walking it out with courage and confidence so you can be an amazing coach who sees transformation and great results in both your life and the lives around you. Let's get started. Most of us who are in coaching as Christians are in it to help people, not to hustle people, right? So it's easy to feel like maybe offering free sessions, free coaching is the best way to get clients who will eventually pay you. I want to teach you that you can create value that is free and positioned properly for people to benefit from without offering free coaching. So you might think that if you give just enough of yourself away for free, people are going to see the value and start booking and paying. I believed that, or some form of that, for a long time when I started, and I was coaching for free and for way too cheap for longer than I want to admit. So I get it. I understand the concept, the heart behind it, everything. A lot of coaches have really huge hearts and love people and want to serve, but didn't sign up to be a marketer, right? So they sign up to be a coach, to make a difference, not to become a salesperson. And I get that. But you need a plan that lets you serve with the generosity that's in your heart and also helps you to build a sustainable business. And free products and services, all of that stuff can help to a degree. But if you're using them in the wrong way and in the wrong timing, putting them in the wrong place, then it actually hurts you more than helps you. And the reason behind that is that human nature, people, rarely value what they don't invest in. If they don't pay anything for it, they have a lower value for it. You and I do. It's a really good self-awareness exercise to look at what you value and how much you pay for the things that you value more in your life. When you're giving it all away, there's no commitment on the other person's end, right? So that means less transformation for them. It means less buy-in, and it means no growth in your business. And I know that you probably really love mentoring and advising, maybe teaching, serving, but the minute that you start asking people to pay, you probably feel the awkwardness and maybe even in some weird guilt start creeping in. I was there for way too long. I get it. But if you are mentoring or ministering to other people, that's totally fine. And you should do it freely. You should do it cheerfully. Let it be generous and let yourself be a cheerful giver with that, right? But if you are a coach and you have stepped into coaching business ownership, strategy, and transformation and leadership, then you have to actually price your offer, protect your own energy, and position yourself as a professional. And I know that that is a journey. I know it takes time to go from the helping-hearted friend at church to a professional business owner. But you're here because you're building a kingdom business. And that does not mean that you're being selfish when you ask people to pay for it. You're being strategic. You'll be able to have more impact and create more income so you can cycle it back into greater impact. On a recent call with my coaches, we do a live coaching call every month for any student that's in any of my courses, the Greenhouse course, which is the Christian Life Coach Training and Certification course, or the Niche Clarity course, or the Called to Coach Grow Your Business course, like any of those, the Mastermind. If you're in any of those, then you get to come to a once a month live Q&A coaching call. And one of them brought up an episode that I had done back years ago when I first started the podcast. And it was about free coaching and the disadvantages of it. So I had already had this myth, number 14, scheduled about free sessions, believing that free sessions will get you paying clients. But when this coach brought up that episode, I went back to it because I was like, it was so true. It was the working for the chain restaurant versus owning the steakhouse situation. So I felt like this conversation that we had on that call was really important. So I wanted to bring it up here in this episode. So let's paint a picture of that. You imagine you're a server at a chain restaurant. So you're bringing the bread baskets to the table and refilling the drinks and offering ketchup. You get your tips, you clock out, you go home. And you're offering just all of these things that they get to glean from, right? They don't pay for the bread. It came with dinner. They don't pay for the refill. It's free on that, Dr. Pepper. They're not paying extra to have ketchup at the table. And you're just kind of showing up. You're on repeat. You're pouring yourself out. And you're offering a lot of free things to tide them over. Same thing as a Mexican restaurant. Like, how many times do you finish your food at a Mexican restaurant if you already ate 3 baskets of chips, right? So imagine that you own a high-end restaurant, and when you want to honor a special guest, you send them this beautiful appetizer. It's like just a little taste of something that you create. And it's just a taste of it. It's like a signal. It's a sign to them that you care about them. There's a quality control in your restaurant. That's how you need to think of your coaching business. You're not just the server who shows up for tips. You're the owner. You're the host, the chef, the dishwasher. You're the brand. You're the marketer. And you are the actual mission of the steakhouse all wrapped into one, right? Most of us come from the workplace mindset of working for other people. And those other people are the actual business owners who risked everything to open a restaurant, tell the city what they serve, invite all the people to come taste and see that it's good, and do the 24/7 work of making all the wheels turn and plates stay in the air. When you become a coachpreneur and you start your own coaching business, you have to start thinking differently, because you're the one now who has to pay all the bills and keep the lights on, keep up with the overhead, and make all the decisions. It's you that sacrifices. You crunch, you eliminate, you squeeze. But you also get to reap all that fruit that is yours. You're the one that planted it. You planned it. You made it happen. You show up and you get paid and you get to harvest the field, and it is so rewarding. But free coaching does not bear a harvest full of fruit. So if you're just working with that worker mindset and all you're doing is giving out bread baskets, trying to get people to come in because there's free bread, it's too many chips thing, Like, guess what? They don't order a meal, or they don't finish it, or they don't invest in a quality dish, right? They don't invest in the transformation. So nobody gets the full experience. Nobody leaves having made an investment they feel satisfied with. So they're not going to tell their friends that the cost and time and decisions they made were worth it. They're not going to come back for another mountaintop experience because they didn't have one to begin with. They'll come back again when their bank account's low and they think maybe they have something for free over there, right? Maybe they want a little help, but they're not really looking to do the work that gets them the results or the transformation. Those are not your ideal clients. And there is something to be said for strategic generosity, because giving is good and generosity is biblical, but without boundaries, what happens is it becomes a self-sabotage or cycle. So you can offer a free appetizer, but you don't offer the whole meal for free. And you don't give away so many appetizers or such a big appetizer that nobody's hungry to get another meal. Your business and your skills are also not a potluck after Sunday church where everybody can just come take what they want without bringing anything to the table themselves. So here's a really good exercise for you. Write down what you would do if you had a $2,000 monthly paycheck from your coaching business. Maybe you have that and you're still struggling to stop offering all of the free coaching you do, and you need to imagine a $10,000 monthly paycheck from your coaching business. You think about what could be possible for you. What would you do with it? Would you pay off debt or maybe take your kids shopping without all of the fear and all of the, no, you can't have that, or go to the clearance rack only? Would you go on a date night or a vacation? Would you put it back into your business so it can grow faster and create more impact? Like, what would you do with that money? Every time you are tempted to overserve or overgive, I want you to remember what you're actually giving away, because you're giving away the ability to pay off that debt or go shopping or go on vacation or grow your business, because you're giving somebody else something for free. They didn't even ask for free. Most of the time, people aren't asking you to coach them for free. You just end up coaching them for free because they asked you a question, right? So when you're giving too much for free, you're not just being nice, you're actually robbing yourself of impact, income, and the joy of sustainable service, like being able to be consistent and do more of what you love doing. So my true story here is that when I first launched my business, I offered more than probably 20 or 30 free sessions, and I poured my heart out on every call. I was showing up very powerfully. I was showing up fully, like, here I am. I have poured over the intake questions. I have strategized. I have prayed up, and I didn't land like a single paid client after all of that. And I had no idea why. I didn't know what was happening. So I translated it to mean that I was the problem. It was my coaching or my offer or my personality, but something about me was the problem. And it's kind of true, because the real problem was that I didn't know what I didn't know. I had no idea that by offering so much free coaching, I wasn't actually creating value around what I was offering. So the major problem with that was that I didn't value it enough myself, which is probably a whole other episode. So the truth that I found over the next several years was that people were walking away thinking, well, I already got so much value from the free session. Like, what do I need to pay for something for? So they had no urgency, there was no next step, and they had no investment, but they also didn't have any accountability to come back and show that they had taken some steps, that they had created results with their lives, right? That's that response people give you of, thanks for your help. And then there's this quiet fade out from your coaching offer as they're there 1 minute and they just disappear like they're a cartoon. Poof. And I think it's probably very common for a lot of Christian coaches. I know the ones that I've worked with say this, and I'm just going to assume that when you are especially in a Christian community, that people tend to pull on you, like your friends or church or your people at work. If they think that you're this helping-hearted person, which a lot of Christians are, not all of them, but many people are, then they know you have kind of this energy that God gave you, this coaching energy, this helping, serving energy, and then they're going to start pouring out their problems and you feel the tug, Instead of standing there for an hour after church, coaching them for free, this is your moment to offer a bite-sized coaching appetizer. You can think of each of my podcast episodes. It's like a free appetizer for anybody listening, right? But if all I ever did was create episodes and then talk with people for free on the phone all day long, I would never see the needle move for any of us. If somebody actually did show up for a free call, they probably wouldn't be putting everything into it that I would ask of my ideal clients. They're not going to show up fully. They're not going to be invested. And many people who don't pay anything don't even show up at all because they're not losing anything by skipping. So that leaves me and you sitting there waiting on Zoom for somebody who didn't care to show up. So now I would need to go work somewhere else, not because I want to, but because in order to support my coaching hobby, I got to go somewhere else and pay the bills. Instead of coaching this kind-hearted person who's pulling on you, start saying something like, thank you for sharing. If I were you, I would start journaling about blank, whatever, fill in the blank, or asking yourself X, Y, or Z. Just give them one little taste. So, I appreciate you sharing what you are going after, what you want in your life, this question that you have. Start journaling. Start asking this question. Why don't you do a little research? And then offer your business card or give them a text and invite them to book a session if you feel like you would want to work with them. If not, you can refer them to a different coach who could help them more specifically. So the next thing would be to set a boundary. Say something like, I have to get going now, but thanks for sharing your dreams with me. Or if it is really Sunday after church, say, today's my day off and I'm going to head home for some rest, but feel free to reach out if you really want to go after these goals. And then stop and don't serve them a steak with a side of fries or a fully loaded baked potato, right? Because if you do, you're telling yourself and them, I'm not worth paying, but you are. And then when there's silence after you make the invitation to book with you and you set the boundary, let it be and don't mess with the silence. As a coach, you need to be comfortable with silence anyway, because it's not your job to always fill in the space. You are a space maker. You are a great question asker. You're a guide to transformation. And it all begins right here in this moment with somebody by showing this well-meaning person who wants your help that yes, you'll give it to them with respect and boundaries and accountability and a true belief in their capacity to grow and gain, but not right now. Not at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon after the service went long and you're trying to get out of the parking lot, right? So you can offer a free consultation. A lot of coaches do, but that's not free coaching. A consultation is an informational conversation in which you're helping somebody understand what coaching is and how it can serve them, and explaining that you believe you can help them as their coach if you do believe they're the right client for you. So that is what a consultation is. That can be free, but that is not coaching. So here's my plan for you, that I want to offer. If you truly have a heart to serve and you feel conflicted about charging, this is what I would say. It's what I suggest to every coach or even every service-based entrepreneur. And I've worked with some product-based entrepreneurs, and we do the same thing. It's a framework for like a benevolence plan. I cover this in the Called to Coach course, where I teach you how to set up the Sokoka system of all the processes you need to build and scale your business, because it is okay to serve freely, but do it with intention and not do it from guilt or confusion. So number one, just decide who is it that you actually want to serve at a lower cost or for free. And it might be for you like military families or single parents or young adults under 25, right? Or your church family, like whoever it is that God highlights to you. Decide who the group of people are, because it shouldn't be just anybody and everybody. If they ask, you just automatically give them a discount. Number two, decide how many people and how often you're going to offer this, right? So keep it kind of contained, put a box around it, and maybe only 2 people per quarter. That's it. That means 8 people per year get some type of discount. Or you can change that, or you can even just say a percentage, something like that, of people that you would offer a discount to, and then decide what that discount is. And maybe that's 10% for friends and family, and that would include, I would say, the people at church and the people at work, right? Maybe if you want to help single parents, you give them 15% off. I would cap your whatever discount you offer. I would never offer more than 20%. That's just my rule of thumb. I don't suggest cutting your whatever you offer down by more than 20%, unless you're at some place where you're doing a flash sale and you have a deeper discount, like 40% off right now, but you want that to be more of a rarity and you want it to be time bound. So you're going to do that on purpose. You're not doing that just because you feel weird about asking people to pay you for what you do. You're doing that on purpose because you know the value of what you offer and you want to run a deep discount for people during maybe Black Friday weekend. Then number 4 is create your response script for people who want coaching and maybe you feel like they are digging for some free coaching right now in the moment. They want that free bread basket. They want several bowls of chips and salsa. Just come up with something that feels really natural to you, like, hey, friend, I love that you want to work on these areas of your life. And fortunately, you know me. I'm just the person to help. So I'm going to text you my scheduling link so you can get set up to work with me. Okay? And then keep it very kind, keep it simple, keep it clear. Like, that's easy. Listen, let me repeat this. I love that you want to work on this. And fortunately, you and I already know each other, so you know how to get help. So I'm going to text you a scheduling link right now. Okay? Let's get together. I hope to see you in the next week or 2. And then number 5 is create a response that you can share with yourself so that when you feel tempted to give it all away or you feel awkward or you feel guilty, you can remind yourself, maybe you need to put it in a note in your phone so you can pull it up. Hey, coach me, remember that you're building a business that God wants to bless. You're not a volunteer. You're not a nonprofit. You're not being selfish by charging. You're a professional and you value people's transformation. And you know that the more they commit when they invest, the more transformation they can get. So you can help more people if you get paid to do it, so you don't have to work other jobs to pay the bills. And you can hold the line, you've got this, right? So you can remind yourself that you're building a business God wants to bless, and you're not just helping for free anymore. You're building something really valuable that's going to be able to stand this test of time that you can stay consistent at, and it's really sustainable for you. And if you still want to offer something for free, that's okay. It's awesome. But you need to make it scalable and not something that will exhaust you. So create a free guide, like a lead magnet, a free checklist or something, a webinar, post, free, go live on Facebook, record something, put it out there. You can start a podcast. You can do a video series and send it in email. You can do all kinds of things that are free. That lets people get a taste of your voice and your vision and your capacity and capability, but it saves the full meal for the people who are ready to invest in their own results. And one more thing, don't discount people you don't know. It's tempting to try to win people over because you think giving them a deal will pull them in. But I'm just going to say that unless God has made it very clear to you to go win somebody over with a deal and a discount, hold on to your pricing because your ideal client will honor it, they will choose it, they will pay it. And here's a little tip about marketing psychology. You never want to lead with your discount. I think that the majority of us who do that, and I have done it, which is why I can speak about this, but also I've coached other people through it. The majority of us are operating from a mindset that people need to know it's cheap enough, it's affordable enough, it's possible enough for them with very little in their bank account, with less disposable income, with coaching being a luxury, et cetera, et cetera. If we tell them that up front, then they'll be more hooked and ready to buy. But actually, if you throw a percentage out before somebody knows the value of your coaching, of what you offer, their brain immediately starts comparing the price to their bank account or what a different coach charges. So the first thing you want to do instead is to paint the picture of transformation, not of cheapness. And also remember that some things that are cheap affect the quality. So the lower the price is of something, if you go to the Dollar Tree, which isn't a dollar anymore, or you go to Five Below and everything's $5 or less until it's not, which is weird. When you go there, you know that the quality of what you buy there is much lower than what you get if you buy it from TJ Maxx or Target or Costco or Nordstrom's, right? If you go to the mall, if you buy a ring at TJ Maxx, it's a lower quality than if you go to Tiffany. Now, maybe you are not in the position to buy a ring from Tiffany. That's okay, but there's places in between TJ Maxx and Tiffany where you can get something of a higher quality, but a lower price point. There is a place where you can serve people in the middle of the ground without, again, serving them something from the Dollar Tree. The psychology of cost is really interesting if you start studying it out. You want to help people see the value first. Then you only offer the discount if it's appropriate to offer it. You really need to ask yourself, are people asking me to discount my coaching? Or am I asking myself to discount my coaching because I'm afraid of rejection or judgment or awkwardness? So you might say to somebody, because of your the role you play in your family, as a single parent, or the work you do, or in the community, or because you have been a first responder, or you're serving us in the military, something like that. I want to offer you my friends and family rate because I really want to help you move forward, and I respect the role that you've been in. So you can actually let your discount be a gift. That way, it is seen as a gift that comes with the value that they get, the transformation, right? So you let them see the value of the transformation, and then you offer them a gift. And it's not a strategy to assuage your guilt or your awkwardness. The bigger picture is that you're not just coaching in doing this. You're actually learning who your ideal clients are, and you're figuring out, how do I communicate what I do and how I help and how to invite people to coaching with me without feeling weird or selling my soul, right? And you have to remember that if you started a business that you're asking God to breathe on, it's different than if you're running a ministry or a nonprofit. And you have to remember that people spend hundreds and thousands of dollars a year on things like coffee and fast food and what's that one? Starts with an S. It's like a company where everybody buys a bunch of cheap clothing and it's cute, but you wear it like twice and then you throw it away. I have teenage daughters, so I can't think of what it's called, but I know we get deliveries every now and then from there. People spend a lot of money on a lot of things. And there are a lot of people out there who are waiting to find the right person who they can connect with and partner with and invest in their own breakthrough. There are people out there that want the breakthrough that you can help them get. The key is believing in the transformation that you offer and learning how to invite people into it boldly and with confidence and belief that what you offer is really valuable. So your action step is that instead of offering more free sessions this week or the next time you encounter something like this, I want you to think about a free resource that actually leads people to pay for coaching and invest in themselves. That could be a guide, a checklist, a video. Remember, there's all these things. You can go to AI and ask, like, what kind of things could I like to talk about this. I like to talk about that. I like to help these kind of people with this kind of problem. What kind of resource could I create that is simple, I can offer for free, that introduces people to what I know and how I can help them. You can go to Canva and create this real easily. You can go to Fiverr.com and ask somebody else to make it for you. You just want to create something that helps them and introduces your work without giving away your most valuable assets of your time and your capacity and your belief. So think about, where have you been giving away too much in hopes of gaining clients? And what would it look like to create a high value, scalable, free resource instead? That's what this podcast is. This is my free resource to everybody, but it leads to paid coaching. And that's where everybody gets results. And then go start building a bridge that leads to that paid offer, so that it's not a cul-de-sac where people are just getting what they needed and turning around and moving forward like without you, right? You want a bridge that takes them from over here where it's free, and then they cross over and they come pay and they get to the other side where the results are. You have something very powerful that you can offer. So I want you to consider, how can you stop giving it away all for free and start inviting people into transformation that comes through investment? It's super valuable. If you need some help with any of this, you can book a session with me. The link is in the show notes. You can go to sterlingandstonementoring.com. And I would love to help you. One of my favorite things to do is work through this, create lead magnets, figure out your niche, create an offer, all kinds of things that you can go to the website and see breakthroughs for just $50. You actually fill out a form and I'll give you a ton of feedback on creating your signature offer or developing a niche, all different kinds of things. Just, sterlingandstonementoring.com, and click on Legacy Builder, and you'll see biz breakthroughs on there. And there's some options for you. It's just $50. And you literally do nothing but answer a bunch of questions. And then I will send you back a video that's comprehensive with a Google document that has links and resources and feedback and help you get started. Or you can book a session and we can get some high touch, like one-on-one time. Okay, you got this, friend. You are made and called to coach. You are going to be an incredible business owner. You probably are one already. You don't know it, and you might not believe in yourself. But I want to tell you that I believe in you, and I know you have the capability to do this. I want to help you build your confidence. So that's why I was going after this myth that free sessions will actually make more paying clients. It didn't work for me. It's probably not working well for you. So I wanted you to have the truth. And I wanted you to have some solutions and tools. So I'll talk to you in the next episode. Until then, have a great week. Thanks for listening. For more coaching resources and to learn how to work with me, head to sterlingandstonementoring.com or click the link in the show notes. Remember, walk boldly in your calling, and I'll talk to you next time.